Welcome to the Brandon and Ryan Hour, the show for movies, television, and entertainment reviews and commentary. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Ryan. And today is Monday, so we are doing our in depth review of Simulant, starring Robbie Amell, Jordana Brewster, Simu Liu, and Sam Worthington.
So, yeah. All right.
Yep,
I'm kind
exactly.
of, I don't know. There's so many ways to go with this movie. Um, so, Simulant, the sci fi thriller based around these cybernetic AI human copies.
Yeah, I mean, androids is what they basically are.
Yeah. So, as I was watching the movie, I was like, this seems like a mashup of iRobot and Surrogates.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then at the I'll save that for the end.
Yeah,
um,
it's a very confusing movie. It felt almost like they had two movies going on, and then they were like, oh, let's just mash them together because we don't have enough for one full thing.
I didn't think it felt like two movies.
I did, but that's fine if you didn't.
How did it? Where were what were the two different movies?
The movie with Robbie Amell's character and Jordan Brewster's character felt like its own separate movie that they were working on, and then the other movie felt like Sam Worthington and the Simulants. They didn't feel connected at all until the final act.
Okay, I mean, there's other movies that are similar to that, where you have two storylines and they converge. They're parallel storylines and then they end up converging.
Yeah, this didn't feel parallel though. It felt like two completely different movies, two completely different tones based on the storylines. And then they're like, ooh, you know what? I was working on two movies, can't finish either of them. I'll just mash them together and write an ending that can kind of explain both of them. That's how it felt to me.
Okay, I didn't get that, but
Okay.
okay. So, what are your initial thoughts? Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, initial thoughts, it felt disjointed, uneven, and not the best movie I've ever watched, but it also wasn't horrible. Like, I don't feel like I'm not upset that I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some movies where you get done and you feel like you wasted your time. I don't completely feel like that on this one.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I'm kind of the same boat. Like, I didn't think it was disjointed or two scripts put together, but um, yeah, I I didn't. The movie didn't end, and I go, well, that was a waste of time.
Right.
It was it was entertaining, but it was also it tried to seem like it tried to be thought provoking. The way they started, I guess, talking about the AI and the way all that was going on. All right, so first off, you said you said that you called the car crash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah. So, for those who have seen the movie, it opens with Robbie Amell and Jordana Brewster's characters, Evan and Faye, apparently married, get a little bit of their interaction as a couple, and they start on a car drive that lasts for like 3, 4 minutes. And as soon as they got in the car, I was like, oh, they're going to get in a car wreck and one of them's going to die. Like as soon as they both got in the car.
Had you seen the trailer?
No.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I guess because it was so slow, I was like, I didn't. I figured something was gonna happen, but I wasn't. I don't know, because yeah, it started off slow like that, so I was like, "Where's the robots? Where's this?" And then I think they showed a couple of robots, and like the housekeeper robots and
Yeah.
stuff. They look freaking weird.
Yeah.
They're,
Apparently, that was one of the first series robot that they made.
was that the first series?
I think they said it was a third generation, and they were on
Okay,
like 6 or 7 by the end of the movie.
7. Yeah, yeah. They look. It wasn't even necessarily like the shape of the face. It was like the stupid painting and like
Hmm.
the weird, like one of them had like half red face.
Yeah.
I was like, why? And then some of them had like the weird like lipstick and like, what is this? This is creepy looking. I wouldn't want this walking around my house doing my dishes.
That's fair.
um so they started off talking about the oh, what did they call them? The protocols?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, basically protocols. They called it something else, but
Yeah, I forget what they called it. But when they started talking about it, I was like, this sounds like iRobot's 4 laws.
yeah.
And it's basically what it was. They just had to call it something different. Um, so,
Yeah, there were only 3 laws in iRobot, though.
were there 3 laws?
Uh huh.
Oh, I think it was the one robot who had a fourth law that could override the other 3 laws. I think
Right.
that's what it was. Something like
But
that.
yeah, in this movie, in Simulant, they had 4 laws.
He had four. Um, which were what? You can't hurt or kill humans. You can't hurt other robots. You can't break the
No, you
law.
can't modify any other robots. You can't break
Oh
any
yeah,
international or local laws.
yeah.
And you can't disobey something that
A human tells you to
the
do.
person who owns you tells you to do, as long as it doesn't violate the other 2 laws or 3 laws.
Right. Which would piss me off because there's so many local and government laws that you don't know about.
Yeah, but they also
Yeah.
made sure to specifically state international laws,
Yeah,
which
which
what
there aren't
constitutes
any.
an international law.
Yeah. Like there aren't any international law. I cannot break an international law
Yeah,
as far
there's
as I'm
no
aware.
governing authority to enforce an international law.
Yeah. Just who's gonna extradite me?
Right.
NATO? The UN? Screw off.
Yeah.
Come at me, bro. Anyway. And like, I don't know. Just all the stupid laws out there. Um so okay, so what's his face? They get in the car crash, and then it jumps back where you're seeing Robbie Meal and Jordana Brewster in the house doing things, and then he seems off, and he's having nightmares, and blah blah blah. Um, did you already know?
Yeah, like as soon as he woke up the first time, I was like, "Oh, he's a robot." Okay.
He's a robot. Yeah.
And like
Um,
they played it as a mystery for half the movie before
no,
they
it wasn't half
reveal.
the movie.
Yes, it was.
It was. I mean, no, I don't think so.
Yeah. Before he
Uh,
finds out that he's a robot, it was like half the movie.
uh the movie. Okay, the movie's only an hour and a half long. So, yeah, it was maybe 30, 45 minutes into it. But, yeah, but it jumps back and forth between other stuff. So, I guess it didn't seem like that much time of their on screen time before you found
Yeah,
out.
that's fair. But
Okay.
overall movie length is what I was going off of.
Yeah, yeah. So then we meet Sam Worthington, and he is part of ACE,
Mm-hmm.
Artificial Intelligence Crime Enforcement, something
Sure.
like that.
Something like that.
They branded the heck out of their stuff.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so he's tracking down a simulant or a robot that has been missing for like 3 years. 2 years, 3 years.
well, I think his job was to find robots who had gone off the grid and went
Right.
missing, and other things like that. And I think they had just gotten a lead on that robot, so they were going to go after it. And it had been missing for 3 years. Yeah. Mm. Oh yeah. So would he have a collar or something he was going to put on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he catches her, and then he goes to put the collar on her, and then she like it looked like she broke his wrist,
Uh-huh.
but I guess maybe she just like I don't know.
Sprained it or
Yeah.
injured him somehow.
Yeah. And then they go off chasing, and I like okay, so this is what I did like about it. Like with Sam Worthington, like he goes up to the robot, he's like no problems at all, right? And then it hurts him, and then his face is like, oh, like
Oh no.
this is
Something's
bad.
wrong. Yeah.
This robot is not turning off, it's not obeying me, and it just hurt me, and now it's fleeing. Um, this is really freaking bad.
Yeah.
So then he sets off an EMP that turns off like electronics within like a couple of blocks or something.
Yeah, like 4 blocks, I think is what they said.
Yeah, and then you see them walking around. You see how many people that were in the scene who were robots. I was like, that's weird. I was like, why is a robot out there selling stuff and another robot out there buying stuff from that robot? This makes no sense. And it looked like a flea market,
Yeah.
a street market. Like it didn't. I don't know. It would make sense like in a retail store, you would send your robot to go buy stuff. I don't know why you would do that either because you have Amazon. Anyway, so they catch the robot. They find out the robot has been reprogrammed
Mm-hmm.
and to disobey the the four laws if it wants to, kind of just like iRobot.
Yeah.
So yeah, so now he's looking for who is doing the reprogramming to make the robot want to hurt people, or not want to hurt people, but actually hurt people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like
So
the robot, it's not like she was programmed to hurt people. She was programmed to be independent of thought and could make decisions against the laws, including hurting people.
right, my problem with that is that was
It's a
its first
robot.
reaction.
Okay.
Its first reaction is violence,
Okay. Yeah.
and because the robots, I guess they're just super strong.
Yep. That's what they made them.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe don't make your robots super strong. So okay. Yeah. So find out that um like I forget her name or what they called her. Esme?
The one that
Yeah.
they copied, the one that
The one
they
they
captured
caught?
was Esme.
Yeah. So they catch Esme and she's been living in that apartment for however long and she
Yeah,
has a
2 years, I
or
think they said.
yeah. Her neighbor, he interrogates the neighbor. The neighbor says he doesn't know her. But then they're like watching her memories and they're obviously in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's just whatever. And then they find out that he's one of the guys
Engineer.
who yeah. He's one of the guys who came up with the AI programming, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he's off out there making autonomous robots
Yep. And
that
during
don't.
all of that, we also get introduced to Sam Worthington's character's subplot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that they're trying, or first phone call is his wife saying that they can go ahead and sue. There's some lawyer who's going to take the case, and then
And
later we
there's other
find out.
people.
Yeah. Then later we find out. Well, they said for simulants neglecting children or whatever,
Yeah, she. Yeah,
and then there's a phone call where he's going back listening to messages from his son,
talking about
and
going to
then
do
they,
stuff with his friend and his friend's simulant.
yeah, and then that subplot never gets resolved. Like they introduced it, brought it up like 3 or 4 times in the movie, and then nothing happens with it.
Well, the one phone call, the last phone call from his wife, she's like, I haven't. She's like, you need to come home. I haven't seen you in a few days.
Yeah,
Um, you can't bring him back like this.
yeah, but it still was never resolved. There was never anything that happened with it. It was just filler for the sake of filler.
I think it was backstory to figure out his motivations, why he was so adamant about pursuing these robots.
Okay, I don't feel like you needed that. It literally just felt like filler for the sake of filler with no resolution.
Uh, that's part of my problem with the movie is that I'm not sure what it's trying to get me to do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like, here's your bad guy, here's your good guy, root for the good guy, root for the bad guy. Here's a love story. You know, you're rooting for this character, not this character. This is how we want you to feel, right? That's not very clear in this movie
Uh huh.
because okay, like like that, right? You've got him and his son is dead because of a robot, and he's okay. I hate robots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's after them, but he's also in law enforcement, so it would just make sense that he's also adamant about stopping crime and whatever these robots are doing, or whoever's
Right.
making the robots do this stuff. But then you've also got the Simalu and um, the Casey and the Evan part where um, Evan has been given the memories of Faye's husband and is kind of like an imposter,
Yeah.
but he doesn't know this, so he actually thinks he's a human or he thinks he's a person, and he wants to have a relationship with Faye, and she's obviously just messed up in the head. She's her husband died tragically after being in a coma for 6 months or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so she's just trying to cope, and then so it's like okay, you have a relationship where it seems like you want us to seems like they want you to care about the robots sometimes and then hate the robots sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And like
And there's
they
also they're trying to make you feel like the robots may actually have consciousness because of the AI, because they can think.
yeah. And then also like there's a couple of scenes where it's like okay, like Sam Worthington is doing investigations and like, you know, lying to the robots or um, doing whatever to the robots to like make them to get information. It's like, okay, oh, he's playing bad cop. It's like, it's a what? So I
Yeah.
don't like him now because he's being a bad cop, but it's a robot, so I also don't give a crap.
Yeah.
You beat the robot with a wrench for all I care. That was my main problem with it. And then also like, okay, I was like, okay, I'm just watching this for entertainment value, but then also it seems like they're cramming a lot of non like um like talking not talking points, but like AI. They're trying. It seemed like it's pushing AI, but not pushing AI. So that kind of stuff is all over the place for me.
Okay.
Um, which is kind of annoying because I'm like, okay, I just want to enjoy a movie, but I hate some of the narrative that's going on here. But I'm not sure if I'm supposed to hate it or not. I don't know what you want from me, a writer director guy. Um, yeah. So I don't know what you thought about all that.
Yeah, it was hard to care uh, about anything because yeah, I feel like the story was poorly executed. Not that the acting was bad. I felt like the actual actors did a good job, but it did
Same.
feel like the writer or writers were unclear on their motivation for the movie.
There's just
Like
one.
there's no clear bad guy, there's no clear good guy, there's no
I mean,
clear main character.
there is, but they didn't do a good job of making it obvious on the screen.
I don't feel like there was a clear good guy and a clear bad guy. It felt
I
like they
do.
flipped roles constantly.
Now, I mean, for me, the clear good guy is Sam Worthington. The clear bad guy are all the robots.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't feel like that's true at all. I feel like sometimes they were trying to get you to root for Robbie Amell's character, Evan. Sometimes they were trying to get you to root for Sam Worthington. Sometimes they
Right.
were trying to get you to root for Simu Liu's character.
Yeah,
So
that's what they
there's
were
no
trying to do.
right. So there's no clear protagonist and there's no clear antagonist in the movie.
Well, okay. Right. That's yeah. We're saying the same thing.
Yes, I'm agreeing with you, and then you're trying to take the opposite stance of what I just said.
No, you said no to what I said, and then you're like, you said no, but I'm trying to agree with you. Like that's, that's what you said no to what I said, and then you're like, but I agree with you.
I don't feel like I said no, but okay.
Okay.
I just don't think there's a clear good guy and clear bad guy because they keep flip flopping. That's what I'm saying.
Right, because the storytelling wasn't done right.
Correct.
But like on paper, Sam Worthington is the good guy, and Sima Lu and all the robots are the bad guys.
Yeah, they didn't make that clear at all.
How's that not clear just intellectually?
No, like I get what you're saying. I'm saying
Okay.
the movie didn't make it clear. The
We've
writing
already
of it.
established this, Ryan. Move on.
Okay.
Quit going backwards. That's, so, um, so Esme is a copy. There's a duplicate robot of her.
Mm-hmm.
We find out the Simalu that we've been following the whole movie is a robot,
Mm-hmm.
which and the original is like 30 years old, 20, 30 years older than him.
Yeah.
So he had gray hair and a bunch of wrinkles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they didn't figure that out from just mugshots or just pictures of him. Like this guy hasn't aged in 20 years. He is Asian of Asian descent.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, um, okay, so Simalu Casey, the copy or the robot guy, program engineer, programmer, whatever, he makes Evan autonomous.
Mm-hmm. Because Faye's having issues with a robot pretending to be her husband. So it reveals to him that he's a robot, deactivates him, or like puts him in rest, has Simula's character show up to deactivate him. And
Yeah,
he's like, oh, if we do that, it'll mess up his memories. But it's a flipping robot, so that doesn't make any sense. Because it's not like if I turn my computer off for a week and turn it back on, everything's still there.
yeah, that didn't make any sense
But so
either.
he can convinces her to leave Evan online
Yeah,
and just have him move somewhere where he has access to him.
yeah. So like all of that. So I think she just called a technician out. Someone called somebody to turn her robot off,
Mm-hmm.
and he shows up and emotionally manipulates her to think
Right.
about it, to put him in a hotel and let him think about it, or let her think about it, and then he convinces Evan, robot Evan, that he should let him reprogram him, and so he can
Win her back.
be be independent. It wasn't even
Yeah.
to win her back. He was just like be independent because he
Right. He
was
said
basically
independent,
telling him
and
to move
then
on.
no, because Evan said he wanted her back, and he said if you want her back, you need to be more like the first guy and be independent, be able to think for yourself. And
Yeah,
then after that, he started trying to convince him, no,
to
you
move
don't
on.
need her anymore.
Yeah, go.
After,
You're not the real Evan. You're a new thing now. You're
right,
a new person. Move on. Um, and I guess like all this time, like Sam Worthington is getting closer and closer to finding out, and then he almost catches them, but Esme called him
texted,
and
but sure.
yeah, text message from the lady's phone who was the tech, IT tech for the
Yeah.
robots. Some of the tech in the movie was actually kind of cool. Um, I don't know if I could ever see getting an implant though. Like the EMP guns were cool,
Yeah.
but like I don't know if I would ever get an implant. The
But they
technology,
also didn't work like an EMP is supposed to because they only knocked out electrical stuff for a few minutes, and that's not what an EMP does. It fries electric circuits, so they're unusable from then on. But for some reason, in all these science fiction movies, it's
they're
just a
yeah,
temporary thing.
and they can localize it with a gun that's electronic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the one gun like shot like a thing up and a pulse out, and then the other gun was like a bullet,
Yeah.
which was okay, kind of cool, but really freaking annoying. And they're like, they've got all their drones and making announcements, and it's like, if it doesn't come back on, please contact us for whatever, a refund or something.
Yeah.
We'll buy you a new phone because we destroyed it. Oh, they had to clear phones. They had to see through
Yeah.
phones. Um, but anyway. Uh, so I guess the ending, like for me, the whole time, like I'm rooting for Sam Worthington to. Oh yeah, the Casey and his plan to free all the robots,
Yeah.
just like iRobot.
Yep. Make
Um,
them all independent thinkers.
yeah, all autonomous, unable to. or able to not follow the four laws or the four protocols or whatever, and um, unable to receive new updates. So they would
Mm-hmm.
be, you know, autonomous. So he kidnaps a guy that works there, and then they steal his credentials and upload a their virus program
Mm-hmm.
with the new 7th gen updates coming out or whatever. Um, and then Sam Worthington ends up they're closing in, so Casey and Evan go to a farm somewhere or a cottage. They had a
The
cottage.
cottage. Yeah.
Yeah. Was he there? Okay. Did he go to the cottage alone?
Sam Worthington's character. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Like after about 5 minutes of him being at the cabin, I was like, wait a minute. Did you really show up alone? Are you stupid?
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense. Why you would show up alone?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, I don't know.
So yeah. So there, his character gets shot, and so does Simulou's robot character. And they're like, "Oh, big twist! Simulou's Evan, or not Evan, whatever his name was, Casey.
Casey.
Casey is a robot. Surprise!" And then, yeah. So Casey goes back inside to finish the update, make sure watch the countdown, make sure it goes through, and Evan follows Sam
Okay.
Worthington's character.
Well, here's the thing. So, yeah, they fight and he gets shot. Right? He like shoots through the robot and shoots Sam Worthington's character.
No, it didn't shoot
Uh,
through. It was two different bullets because they
oh, it
both had a
was.
gun. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought there was only okay. That's what I missed. Um, so, but Casey, the robot Casey, he seemed compassionate. He was like, I'll be fine, but help him out, right?
No, he said leave him. They were both supposed to go inside. He didn't seem compassionate. He said leave him so we can go finish this stuff.
No,
As
it
it was,
wasn't just that. He didn't
yes, it
just say leave
was.
him.
He
No,
did. He literally said the words leave him.
I don't. I think there was more to it than that.
No, he had no compassion at all.
I think you're wrong on that.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one. I'm pretty sure there was um because there were two things he said to him when they were talking about because he was trying to like getting away shot, and then he was gonna go after him, and then he said leave him, right?
Right.
Like don't. It wasn't like leave him to die. It was just like leave him,
Right. That's what I
leave him
just
alone,
said.
right? Um. Then he went back inside, and Evan followed him, but he picked up his gun on the way. Um, he doesn't. Did he shoot him? No. He
No, you
just
just waited for him to bleed out.
follows him, lets him bleed out, which was just really freaking annoying.
Yeah.
Pissed me off.
And then had a whole conversation about AI being sentient.
Yeah.
And because it can think, because it can copy using computer programming what people do, it's got to be alive.
Yeah. And that was like kind of throughout the movie
Right.
they were doing that, which is pissing me off because AI pisses me off in the first place.
Okay.
Because all AI is just a really really intricate puppet.
Yeah.
It's a puppet with a million strings.
Yep.
That's all it is. And a robot with memories. It doesn't make sense
Okay.
because a brain isn't just memories.
Right.
The brain is an organization of memories that are tied together in specific ways for specific purposes that form our memories.
Okay.
So you can't just download all the memories, put them in a hard drive, and say, okay, this is a copy of that person, because all the connections are not there. So you, it's a book with all the words in it, but it's all jumbled up.
Right.
So that pisses me off. It doesn't make any sense. Do you have
Yeah.
something
So
else?
Sam Worthington's character dies. Um, Evan goes back inside.
Watches the countdown.
Yeah. Casey says that he doesn't need to do anything, or Evan doesn't need to do anything to help Casey because the actual programmer is going to come help him.
Oh, yeah. And then when he asks Casey asks Evan, he's like, "Did you help him?" And then he said he didn't make it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So Casey was under the impression he was going to go help this guy, but he just
Right.
let him die and actually probably caused his death because made him run across the field bleeding out.
Yeah. But yeah, so Evan leaves, sees the actual programmer show up. They exchange a look, and then he just keeps walking, and the programmer's like, all right, whatever.
Right.
Like, not
He's
who
like,
are you? What are you doing here?
yeah,
Nothing.
no
Just,
information at all.
yeah. And
Unless
then,
he knew everything, if he was like watching or if they possibly were in contact
yeah.
because they maybe both were involved in everything,
Okay. Yeah,
which
so
makes sense.
programmer goes in, sees Casey. Casey asks, did it work? And he said, oh, yeah, love won. So freeing computers is now
Is love?
loving.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. That was stupid. Didn't make any
Yep.
sense.
And
It's
then a
literally
big, yeah,
I'm thinking about iRobot. He's like, it's just ones and zeros and clockwork.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, so then Evan goes back to his house where his wife is swimming and
Mhm.
goes to talk to her. And like as soon as he got to the house, I was like, oh, I know exactly what's no.
Yeah,
It was actually before that. I knew he was going to go confront
yeah,
her.
yeah.
But yeah, so they
Well,
talk. He kills her and then activates the robot copy that she had
but
made of herself.
yeah, they barely talked, and his intent was clear from the beginning when he got
Yeah.
there. She tried to deactivate him with the ear thing, but
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't work anymore. So then he drowned her.
Yep. And then he goes and reactivate or activates the robot copy that she'd made for herself.
Yeah, because
And then
at
the
the
movie just
beginning of the
ends.
movie, they wanted their own. They wanted to get copies for funsies,
Yeah.
basically, because the rich people with too much money.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's where it ends. And then, what was your what was your thought after it? And like, okay, so he's a double murderer.
Uh huh.
Mm-hmm. Any thoughts as to like what happens next
No.
after this credits roll?
Nope. I literally didn't care enough to think about what happens next.
Well, what I was like, oh, I know what happens next. Terminator.
Oh yeah, I did think, hey, this is how you make Terminator happen. Yeah,
Right.
but I thought that when they set off the virus program to make them all free, it was like that's how you get Terminators. Like,
There's millions of robots running around out there, autonomous, and their
Hmm.
first, from what we've seen, their first instinct. It's not even instinct. Their first
Course of action when they're
course of
confronted
action
is
is
violence.
violence.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then they have emotions. I don't know how you have emotions, and like, how do you have a hard time with emotions when you don't have biological reactions?
that's a great question.
Because most people's problem when they have emotions is the biological reaction part, when their heart rate starts goes up, or their blood pressure goes up, or
Adrenaline starts pumping, whatever,
yeah,
right?
that's when you do stupid stuff because of emotional things, because you're biological, sometimes out of your control.
Yep,
It's the freaking robots.
yep.
So now all the world governments got to go around, fly around to every city, whole world, and detonate EMPs everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be. This is how you get the Matrix or Terminator.
Okay.
That's basically how the Matrix started. Was they had a bunch of robots, sentient robots. They put them all on an island, and then a war broke out between the humans and the robots.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, overall, uh, I mean, I'm not upset that I watched it. I still, it wasn't the greatest movie. In our spoiler-free review, I gave it a 5 or 5.1. Feel like that's still a fair score. What about you?
What did I give it in the spoiler free? Five
You gave it
nine,
like a 5.8.
5.8. Now that I'm talking about it more, it irritates me more because all of the people died. All the people died,
Okay, yeah.
and everybody is just cool at the auction. They're still cool, like they're selling robots at the auction, even though they're all autonomous now.
Mm-hmm.
Makes no sense. Um, yeah, I think I'm gonna drop it down to like a 5.5.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's pissing me off thinking about it right now.
All right. So yeah, so that is the review of Simulant.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
done talking about this.
so if you guys made it this far, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, leave comments down below on how you felt about the movie if you watched it, or comments on what you would like to see us review in the future.
We do new videos every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. Mondays are movie reviews. Thursdays we do a series review or talk about something else entertainment related. Sundays usually are spoiler free movie review. And anything else?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
All right, cool. Well, see you guys next time. Later.